So we've hit the halfway mark now for this season.
That's right. 3 episodes down, 3 to go. So we take a breather. It's been very interesting, this new formulation where we put all the laureates in one category together in an episode. It certainly allows you to compare their personalities, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, chemistry, for instance, very much with Omar Yagi and Richard Robson and Susumu Kitagawa. 3 very different people, all working on the same basic idea independently. And it really shows you how there isn't one sort of person who can be a successful scientist, doesn't it?
It's very comforting, isn't it, that you don't have to compare to any kind of archetype, that you can be yourself.
I think that is actually one of the most useful things in observing Nobel laureates because, they're representative of people who do in the sciences, great science. But it gives you a chance to just sort of concentrate and focus on them and see that although they might in general look rather similar, sort of tending towards elderly men, they are inside so different. And it is, as you say, comforting and important to recognise that it takes all sorts.
And to bring all their differences into the scientific sphere, adding their own little flavour.
Yeah.
And also to meet all these different people, you sort of really see what a challenge it is to explain what they're doing and to sort of get all of us to appreciate and understand the importance of their work as well. Do you struggle to understand the science sometimes?
Of course, of course. I mean, always. And I think that everyone should be struggling to understand it all the time. A nice example was said by the 21 laureate in medicine, Tim Hunt. He was talking to his daughter, reading a bedtime story, and she said, Daddy, why does light come through the window and not through the wall? And he said, well, because the window is made of glass. And then he thought, well, yeah, that's not a very satisfactory answer. Okay, because the window is transparent and the brick of the wall is not transparent. Well, that's not too good either. Hang on a second. Why is glass transparent? Okay, well, because the photons don't get absorbed as they travel through the glass, but they do get absorbed through the brick. Why do they get absorbed when they go through the brick? Well, their energy is lost to the electrons in the outer shells of the atoms that make up the brick, but not when it goes through the glass. It becomes quite complicated. So everything is a struggle to understand. And that's what it's all about, that understanding is never complete. And that's the fun of it, really.
I also think about physics laureate Anton Zeilinger, who talks about how also the fun of it is not understanding in a way. He works in quantum mechanics, and then it's so complicated that you almost give up. And that's sort of the beauty of it, is like it's just mysterious and magical, and you don't have to understand it really to appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. It's sort of living on the edge of your seat all the time. We spoke to Barry Sharpless when he was awarded the chemistry prize for the second time. And in his case, as we spoke about then, it's living dangerously with your thoughts. It's really being so uncertain of where you're going that it's kind of terrifying out there. But at the same time, you might come across something. So I think that unsettling lack of understanding is really one of the things that is so important and is what these lucky people who are having all this fun with science have discovered, that it's just really nice being that uncomfortable with what you know.
But do we lose something when we try to explain things?
I think if we're trying to make it neat and tidy, maybe we do. Definitely, that's one of the big challenges that people who report on science face, that if you make it neat and tidy, you kind of sum it up and make people think it's done. And so that can lead people to say, well, do we really need people to put more money in this? Don't we know? Haven't we done enough? And I think it's extremely important to get across the uncertainty in scientific progress. But it's dangerous also because then people start saying, well, do we not know then? Should we question it all? And so you end up with a problem like vaccine hesitancy. If you start admitting that things aren't quite as neat as they may be being portrayed, then people start doubting and having conspiracy theories and things. So it's a very complicated picture, isn't it? I guess it all takes us back to education and the fact that we all have to be better at accepting uncertainty and really knowing what evidence-based thinking involves, which is seldom certainty, but it's very much about probability.
So we have to find sort of a balance between presenting facts and just being in a state of wonder.
Oh, there should be no balance about being in a state of wonder. Let's all be in a state of wonder all the time. Sorry, you said it perfectly. Yes, I think you're right. Exactly. a balance.
So can you tease a bit about what's coming up in the rest of the season?
Well, you talked about the difficulty of explaining. We've got first up will be physics, and 3 laureates, John Martinez, John Clark, and Michel Devoret, who demonstrated for the first time the operation of quantum mechanics at a sort of human scale in an electrical circuit. And that was done just over 40 years ago. But was an immensely influential step on the road to moving from the microscale to the macroscale. And just listening to how that magic came together in Berkeley in 1985 is very exciting and takes you right into the heart of that moment of discovery. And then you've been working away on collecting people's thoughts on AI.
There are lots of thoughts.
Yeah, lots of thoughts. That's another place where explaining things comes in, doesn't it? Because there's so much to explain and think about and so much uncertainty about AI. Given that so much money is being poured into it and so many people are working on it, it sometimes feels a bit weird that there's so much uncertainty. You know, from the completely optimistic, glowing view of it to the completely doom-laden, negative view of it.
As a science fiction fan, I must say that it's quite scary to sort of see this happening in real time, being reminded of stories that have shown the worst kind of scenario. It's an interesting time.
Well, I guess it just shows that prediction is a fool's game.
Yes.
So we've got your collected thoughts of the 2025 laureates on AI episode to come.
And then we head into another realm of uncertainty, which is literature.
Yes, Laszlo Krasznahorkai, reticent about giving interviews.
But we still have a presentation for you where you'll hear his voice and his thoughts.
Exactly. Anyway, always good to take a breather and just mull over where we're headed. And we look forward to welcoming you to the second half of the season.